This is the Build a Vibrant Culture podcast, your source for the strategies, systems, and insights you need to turn your dreams into your destiny. Every week, we dive into dynamic conversations as our host, Nicole Greer, interviews leadership and business experts. They're here to shed light on practical solutions to the challenges of personal and professional development. Now, here's your host, a professional speaker, coach, and consultant, Nicole Greer.
Welcome, everybody, to the Build a Vibrant Culture podcast. My name is Nicole Greer, and they call me the Vibrant Coach, and I am beyond delighted to have two of my friends and two of my colleagues and two of my clients that I have worked with on the show today. Let me tell you about Kendra first, ladies first. Kendra is a healthcare leader specializing in system integration, quality improvement, and radiology clinical support with an emphasis on compliance standards and workflow improvement. She's not available. Don't try to get with her on LinkedIn and steal her for Gary. He's not having it. All right. Effectively devises and implements corporate initiatives around clinical excellence and patient experience. She is the current Novant Health Rowan Radiology Manager. She's been with Novant for 13 years. She's been in radiology. She doesn't look like she's older than 18, but she's been in radiology for 25 years, started in the womb, and now leads the Novant Health Radiology Leadership Program, serves on Rowan United Way Board of Directors, and is a first-generation college student with a focus on mentoring others. And she has won top team member engagement score. Please don't miss that. Won the top team member engagement score for all of Novant Health in the greater Charlotte market in 2024. And she is completing her MBA right now. So I want to definitely welcome Kendra to the show. Kendra, say hello.
Hey guys, thank you for having me.
Okay, let's talk about her sidekick, Gary, here.
He's
All right.
amazing.
He's amazing. So, Gary is the president and chief operating officer for Novant Health Rowan Medical Center. In this role, he directs the daily operations for the 268-bed hospital, which offers a wide range of services in emergency, maternity, surgery, cancer, rehabilitation, and other specialty care. During his tenure, Novant Health Rowan Medical Center has been a top performer in quality measures as well as patient, team member, and physician satisfaction. Gary joined Novant Health Rowan Medical Center in 2013 as the Senior Director of Professional and Support Services, and he oversaw all the major operational initiatives, including construction projects, renovations, and accreditation reviews. He's worked his entire professional career in healthcare, beginning as a physical therapy and orthopedic physician assistant, and then transitioning to leadership roles where he managed multiple physician practices. He currently serves as the chairman of the Rowan Economic Development Council, assistant secretary to the Novant Health Rowan Medical Center Foundation, and is a member of the Rotary Club of Salisbury. He serves as a trustee for Catawba College and Rowan Cabarrus Community College, and he also is a member of the Regional Policy Committee for the North Carolina Healthcare Association. He served as the president of Catawba College Chiefs Club and past board chair of the Rowan County Chamber of Commerce. He's got a bachelor's degree in sports medicine from Catawba College. He likes that Catawba College, and they're doing big things at Catawba College these days. We should talk about that for a hot second. He was named the Distinguished Alumni in 2017, and he's originally from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, but he came to Catawba College on a football scholarship, and he resides in Salisbury with his wife, Deidre, who is a Catawba graduate as well. He loves to be outside and travel, and he's got two baby girls, Jacqueline and Gabrielle. Welcome to the show, Gary. I'm so glad you're here. So here's the thing. Kendra and I go to the way back. We got our little undergraduate degree together, doing adult student stuff. So we've been through the trenches, and I just love hanging out with you guys. You do big things. So I'm curious. Let's start with this. What is your philosophy on leadership? Because you guys are so dang good at it, winning all these awards. And I bet you didn't volunteer for all those positions you held. I bet you people said, hey, will you help us out? Will you lead? Tell us, what's your philosophy on leadership?
Thank you. So, my leadership philosophy, my entire personal philosophy is I always want to be better tomorrow than I was today,
Yeah.
whether it's professional, personal, spiritual, whatever that is, because of my background of trials and all the things that, as you know, led me to where I am today, I always want to instill that not only in myself, but my team.
Yeah.
So when I have my teams back and I am trying to push them and build their culture and build them up, and it's just to make sure that they know it's because they can do it. They can do it. I believe in them. I'm going to help them. Those that want to grow into leadership, those that have a background that needs some extra support, taking them under my wing and saying, you know what, it's okay. And when we fail, we get back up and we keep going. It's not how we get there. It's not how long it takes until we get there. It's just the fact that we get there, even
Yeah.
if it takes a little longer. So when it comes to the culture in my team, I just love them. And speaking of culture, I'm going to brag on Gary a little bit. So, as you know, Nicole, I love my previous role. And
Yes.
I love my previous role where it was more of a system role. And Miss Shelley Hall, I love her. She is a power boss. She is amazing. And she goes, Kendra, can you go hang out at Rowan because they lost their manager? And can you go hang out and help them? Joint commissions coming in, and I need you to go just help them out. I said, absolutely. Well, I didn't know I was never coming back because that was not my intention. So I get to Rowan, and although Novant has this amazing culture anyway, I get to Rowan. I'm thinking, I've supported Rowan for years at a system level, but it's different here. Okay. And I'll explain that just a little bit. So I get here, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this team. They are doing everything in their power. We're working together. We're working hard. Joint commissions coming in. We're doing all the things, and they're enjoying it and they're learning
Right.
the
Not
why behind
complaining. Right.
it. It's not just go fix this, go do that. We need to do this and that. It's, well, why are we doing that? And they were really enjoying learning. They were a team that I just fell in love with, right?
Mm.
I love the culture here. And when I met Gary, he has this crazy ability of knowing everyone's name. I don't know how he does it. I have no
It's a
idea.
choice. It's a choice. I mean, if you want
And
to
so
learn everybody's name, you can, right?
I know, right? And so he's walking me around the whole hospital. And I didn't know this at the time. He's walking me around the whole hospital, introducing me to literally everyone and knowing everyone's name. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I've always known that Novant aligned with who I want to be,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But I saw that Rowan was special, even more special. And Gary really shows that. He knows everyone on his team within the whole building. And when we talk about culture and leadership, that is something tangible and people can feel.
Yeah, yeah. And I love the fact that you guys won this employee engagement award, right? And so here's the thing. I've probably told this to Kendra. I'm not a fan of the employee engagement survey unless you're doing the work to get the good grade. You know what I mean? When people can take that assessment and go, Kendra loves me, Gary loves me, they care about me, I'm getting taken care of, but don't throw out the survey and then get the negative response and then not be able to fix the things that, people are putting on there. So I would love to know how you all pulled that off. How did you get the number one employee engagement score? I mean, everybody wants to know the answer to this question. All right, come on, radiology manager Kendra Bowman, tell us how you did it.
Well, I want to say I was shocked. I was surprised, but I just love people, right? You
Yeah,
know that.
you got
I have a heart for people, but I'm also going to be honest with people and help them grow, right? And that is something that, Nicole, you have helped me with all the years that we've worked together, helping them with that. Just being present, listening, and taking action. They seem so simple, but sometimes it can be challenging, right? When you're pulled in all these directions, but sometimes the smallest things is what people need, right? Sometimes they just want to hear you say, you know what, that sounds really hard. And I'm sorry about that.
to empathize, right?
Yeah, and here's what we're going to do to try and fix it. And so when we're going through, I wasn't thinking anything about these team member engagement scores. And then Shelley Hall calls me and she says, Kendra, I got to tell you something. I'm like, what is it?
Top secret, Novant secret.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was super excited. It sets the bar really high, though, right? But I want to tell you this, Novant did such a great job in recognizing that. Our executive leadership gave us the Hornet Suite for a game for my entire team to go and enjoy and relax, have a good time, and just really celebrate us as a team working so hard together. And that is what sets us apart, right? It's all of us working together, being recognized, and helping each other grow.
Yeah. And here's the thing, if you just stop for a minute and think about employee engagement, it's really what you're saying. It's that one-on-one practicing presence, listening, hearing what they have to say, empathizing for a hot minute, and then helping people find a way forward. I was heard, I was seen, I was attended to. That's called engagement when you're talking to people. And it's not, I mean, pizza parties and Hornet suites are fantastic, but really it's the day to day that I know my boss, my leader has got my back. That's really what it takes. So here's the thing I also want to ask you about. I think that leaders need to have a good belief system. So you have to believe things about work, about the future, and about people. What are some beliefs that you hold very dearly? I believe this about work and people and life and culture. What would be some strong beliefs that help you do what you do?
So, my belief system revolves around believing that everyone can be whatever they want to be, wherever we start, right? Wherever we start in life, wherever we grew up, wherever we want to go, we can always evolve and change. And I know that that's why I'm passionate about helping others and mentoring others. And I know and I believe that I'm meant to be here as well. I wasn't planning staying here, but I always say God talks to me in my belly. I
Right.
was unsettled, but that still revolves around and goes back to I believe that everyone is where they should be. But sometimes it takes others to help them grow and get there. And I take my challenges that I went through to get to where I am today, and I try to help others get there as well. I believe in other people's dreams and their passions and what they want to do. So I have a lot of students in the department, and we talk a lot about what do you want to do next? Where would you like to go? What would you like to do? And helping them get there. Not everyone has a foundation
That's
of
right.
support, family to help them get there. Some people have to fight for that and do it on their own and go out and learn how to gain that emotional intelligence. And I believe in people and
Yeah.
I believe that we can all get there.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Okay, so one of the things I teach is there's this thing called the lifeline, right? And Kendra knows because I've done leadership development with her many days. And so there's this day that you pop on the planet. And on that day, you don't get to choose what you get. I mean, it sounds like Gary got the lottery, probably wasn't perfect, but these people kind of told him like this is how you roll in life, this is how you be successful. Sometimes you just don't get these things, and you guys probably heard this. Why do those people act like that? Why do they do that? Because they don't know any better. And we're leaders, we help people get better. So I think that's a big part of it, is helping people get past where they come from and what they've been given. And I think that at the heart of that is this idea of developing character in your team and you exercising quality character. So what character traits do you think leaders need to have, need to embody? What do we need to do to make sure we're actually leading by example? I'm going to throw the ball to you, Gary. What do you think?
So, in leadership, and I tell young leaders this all the time, you are under the microscope.
Yes.
Everyone is watching you. Everyone is going to see how you're going to be as a leader. They're watching you in the most difficult situations. They're watching you, Kendra, when Joint Commission does show up, and they're going through your department to see how you react. And so many times, the way that you react is how they react. My people, they see me, I am here. I am here all the
Yeah,
time.
even killed.
If I get to here, it's not good. And I'm not saying it's not good for me. It means that something really bad may be going on here. But just being what you would want them to be, being that role model for them. Nicole, you said it perfectly earlier. Not everyone had the opportunities. I am very blessed.
Yeah.
My friends, my wife joked around that I was raised by Warden June Cleaver. I'd come home and mom would have the apron on and everybody's smiling and everything. I understand
Yeah.
everyone did not have that opportunity. One of the many things I love about Kendra is her ability to recognize folks that maybe need a little more help, if you will. And the other
Yep.
thing that really stands out for me with her is her ability to get people to move to that next seat. So many times, I'm a great example of that. I'm sure Kendra can give you examples that during our career, we had those people that said, "Hey, Gary, have you thought about this?" Or what would you think you need to do to get to this? I am sitting in this chair. Say it again. It is an absolute honor because if I were able to talk to the 18-year-old Gary Blabon and say what I'm doing, I would have said, "You are absolutely crazy. I'm going to be working as a laborer in Fort Lauderdale, maybe own a boat, and that's it." Right? So
Yeah.
somebody saw something in me that I did not see in myself, and that individual got me to that next level. But it's the character, it's being consistent for your team all the time.
Yeah, yeah, I love it, being consistent. And I also heard this thing of having some emotional intelligence is important, right? When this joint commission comes, it's like, don't freak out.
Yeah.
All the hard work we've been doing is going to pay off. That's why we work hard, so we don't have to freak out. So, what do you think, Kendra? What are some of the character traits that leaders need to have? Or maybe she's very humble, everybody.
Yes.
This is hard for her to brag on herself. And so, what are some character traits maybe you've seen in other leaders and maybe even in yourself that makes somebody a great leader?
So I love seeing leaders have integrity.
Mm.
Yeah.
You have to have integrity. And one of the other biggest things that I love to see a leader do is to say, you know what? I think I'll do that a little bit differently next time and learn from our mistakes, right?
Mhm.
We have to be able to say, how could I do that better next time? And as Gary had mentioned, we have all of these people that have helped us. I started having mentors when I came to Novant. My first mentor is Tom Gunning. He's amazing.
Oh,
Tom
I
Gunning.
love
Yeah,
me some
you love,
Tom.
you love Tom Gunning. We need to get together again. He was that person that Gary was talking about, that first person. I knew that I was working on myself to get somewhere and to grow all of the emotional intelligence. We were working on all these things. And he was the first person to really have that conversation and help guide me and mentor me. And then along comes Shelley Hall.
And
Boss
to me, Shelley
lady.
Hall, if there was a picture and her name wasn't up there, it'd be like Boss Babe. Like
Boss.
I mean,
Yes.
but like in the best way, right? Because
Yes.
she looks good, she smells good, she does good. She's just amazing, right? Like we
She
all want to be Shelley Hall when we grow up.
she really is. She really is. And then thankfully I now have Gary. So I have just this array of mentors where I can have those raw conversations. It's okay not to be perfect,
Yes.
but what I see best in leaders is when leaders continue to grow and know that we never stop growing.
That's
If
right.
I ever get to a point and say, I'm there, I'm good, then I've lost. Then I have failed myself and I've failed my team. And I cannot express how thankful I am. And I know that is why I just love on people. But
Yeah.
yes, Gary is my newest mentor and he showcases all of those things.
Yeah. Yeah. So I always say there's four hats that the quote unquote boss
Mhm.
wears. And here are the four hats. One is they lead you to a bigger, better, brighter future. Two, they help you manage the present tasks, responsibilities, the role you have. Like, this is how you do it. They help you manage that, help you be in compliance, help you be consistent. And then they mentor you. It's kind of like they take you under their wing and they're like, hey, listen, this is how this rolls. This isn't in any book.
That's right.
This is something you need to know. And then they also coach you, they challenge you. They're like, How could you do better? You know what I mean? So they challenge you to go to bigger, better heights. Yeah. So, Gary, I'm curious, can you tell us maybe a story about another employee or a team that you mentored? I love what Kendra's saying about mentoring. What's been your experience with those 4 hats and maybe even the idea of putting your mentoring hat on? Who did that for you, or who have you done that for other than Kendra?
Yeah, that's a great question. And for me, the mentor I'll start with, it's very near and dear to me, and it's a little bit emotional for me because I was just in Chattanooga, Tennessee, visiting my mom, and I went back to my old practice to see some of my former colleagues. And it was
Yeah.
an orthopedic surgeon that I worked with. I was an orthopedic PA at the time. My wife and I had a 1-year-old daughter. We moved to Chattanooga. I was going to be closer to family, all of those things. And I worked at this practice for 3 months, and this lead physician called me in his office. And ladies, I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to fire
I'm
me.
in trouble.
Yes, yes. My wife's going to divorce me. My daughter's not going to think, she's only one, but not going to think I'm worth anything.
Right. I'll never know her.
Right. What is going to happen? I was scared to death. And he looked at me and he said, Gary, I want you to run our practice. I said, excuse me? He said, I want you to
Say
run our
what?
practice. I said, no, I help in surgery. I put casts on. I suture people. I don't do that. He goes, you're going to do it with my help. That was in 2000. Okay. I
Nice.
remember going home, telling my wife about it. And a couple of years later, I told her, to Kendra's point of growing, I told her, I want to be a hospital administrator. I want to be a hospital CEO one day. She goes, I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to do it. I said, okay. So
Oh,
it was, I did not see that in myself. It was Dr. Bruce Short, who's no longer with us, that saw that in me. So for me to honor him, to honor his legacy, I try to do that each and every day. We jokingly say Rowan Medical Center is the springboard for people growing within Novant Health. We've had so many people that have started here. One instance that I'll give is one of our directors of nursing, somebody that I poured into that I saw just doing amazing things, is now a president at one of our facilities within Novant Health. She's
oh, that's
absolutely
awesome.
amazing. But somebody else that really stands out to me is a young lady that I got to know that worked in our environmental services department here. And I got to know her name, I got to know about her, and I would always check on her. There was just something special
Oh, I love
about
what you
her.
just said. Checking on people. That's a thing.
Right?
That's employee engagement. Yeah.
And she came to me one time and asked if she could meet with me, and I said, yes, absolutely. And our environmental service is a contracted service, and she said, I would really like to try to do better for myself, and could you help me with that? So long story short, she came to Novant Health. She was a medical unit receptionist. Now she's an executive assistant within one of our departments, and she is absolutely amazing. And
Yeah. And running the whole show. Those administrative assistants run the whole
right?
show.
Again, just caring about people. This is one of the things that really stood out to me about this young lady. She used to clean our hall. This is the what do they call it? The C-suite, right? Woo, yeah,
Right.
yeah. This
Woo,
is
the
this
tower,
is
the
where we
ivory
sit
tower.
down, right? But at the time, she cleaned all of our offices. And when my chief medical officer retired, we had a going away party for him. She brought him a gift basket, and it was so wonderful. And I talked to him. I said, "What did she bring you?" And she brought him Nutri-Grain bars and Big Newtons. And I was like, okay, that's kind of random, but okay. Why did she bring him that? Because as she would empty his trash, that's what was in his trash. And you talk about putting it all together. She
Don't
knew
you
that
love
he
it?
liked that. So that's what she gave him as a retirement party. So,
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. It's all the way back to this thing of loving people that Kendra said and caring about people.
Are you ready to build your vibrant culture? Bring Nicole Greer to speak to your leadership team, conference, or organization to help them with their strategies, systems, and smarts to increase clarity, accountability, energy, and results. Your organization will get lit from within. Email her at nicole@vibrantculture.com and be sure to check out Nicole's TEDx talk at vibrantculture.com.
Yeah, and so that kind of brings me to this question. This is one of the things that I teach when I teach the leadership development is who are you at the core? Because it's going to come out, right? So you can adopt things at your core and work on them to make them core, but then also I think sometimes we talked about having a calling earlier. Let me just say this. That means that like when you popped on the planet, the God was like, this is what you're going to
Yes.
do with your life. And that's the whole purpose of life is to figure out why you're here. But anyway, so at your core, you have these things called values. And I know also Novant is very big on making sure that every employee understands the values of Novant. And I think you guys do a fantastic job of that. Kendra one time gave me this little square thing and it had a little key ring on it and it had the whole Novant deal. I was like, oh, I'm so impressed with these people. So, will you talk, Kendra, about core values and how you have them and maybe how Novant puts that to work? And I bet you it supports the why that Gary was talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. So the core values for Novant, and I know we keep talking about people, but that's what it is.
Yeah,
Our core value is around our people. We empower them, we support them, we give them the resources. And that is the core value of everything that we do because everything stems from people.
that's right.
We cannot take care of our patients if we don't take care of our people.
That's
And when
right.
we take care of our people, what are people? Our people are happy. When our people are happy, they take care of their patients. They make their patients happier, which in return is just comes full circle. The core value for me is loving on people. The core value with Novant is people. And I know that is why I have loved Novant
You're home, right?
times with me as a person. And so, as Gary had mentioned, for some reason, there is another healthcare system out there.
Yeah. I forget their name right now. What is
As
it?
he mentioned that, I only have 3 positions open, okay? I have 3 positions open. And the only reason why I have 3 positions is because they've moved into advanced modalities. It's not because they've left,
That's
it's
right. She
because
got their little potential and got it out of them.
they have moved into advanced modalities. And so I
Yeah.
have these 3 positions and I am interviewing. And my question is why Rowan, right? Why Rowan? And out of all 3 people that I interviewed, these people have been at other healthcare facilities. And every single time it was the culture.
Yeah.
That's
And the
right. That's
culture
exactly right.
is the
Yeah.
people. And how amazing is that?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And so I just want to insert this real quick, and then I'm throwing you the ball on core values, Gary. But, people say we're working on the culture. And I'm like, Okay, but you work on the culture one person at a
Mhm.
time, right? Because it's when they all come together. Have you ever been with, like, I just went to Spain. Did I tell you all I went to Spain? Everybody get a ticket to Spain.
Ooh.
I highly suggest Spain. So here's the thing, when I went to Spain, there were a bunch of Spaniards there, right? There were Portuguese people next door when I went to Portugal. And it's when all those people come together that makes it unique, right? It's the amalgamation, it's the time we spent together, the way we behave together that makes it amazing. So it's working on the people, and the people make the culture. So don't miss what Kendra said. I love it. Okay, Gary, core values. What are your thoughts on core values?
Core values is who you are as a person. The thing I love about healthcare, there's not many professions in the world that you can legally touch someone. Okay. That was something that the physicians, when I worked on the clinical side of medicine, taught me and taught me what a privilege that was to be able to touch someone. Touch, you think about touch and how meaningful it is. Not
Yes.
necessarily has to be physical touch, but that connection. I remember when I first started in this role in administration, specifically here at Novant Health, Rowan Medical Center, we were pushing, 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 patient experience, patient experience, patient experience. And my thing was, that's great, but what are we doing for the team? When I look at patients, patients want to be heard, they want to be respected, they want to be cared for. Okay,
Right.
newsflash, guess what? So does the team, right?
Right.
So I can remember, Kendra, you don't know this, but the side room where our teaching kitchen is, that's where we used to huddle before we would go out and do our patient experience rounding. And I can remember I was not the president at that time, and I can remember saying, let's check on each other first, and let's go check on our team before we round on the patients. And people are looking at me, no, we've got to round on the patients. I'm like, if we can't do this amongst ourselves, we have no way at all of being able to do this for our patients. So it's those values of who you are, why you chose to be in healthcare, and what difference we're going to make. All of our patients that come through, I'm so proud of our team. I loved working in orthopedics because we helped people. I always jokingly said, people would come in with a bone that looked like that. We'd straighten it out. Kendra and Nicole
Yeah.
would get a picture of it and make sure it's straight and the metal looked good. And we sent them home, right? Well,
Yep.
guess what? In healthcare, everybody doesn't have that happy ending. And what makes me so proud is not only what we get to do with the patients, but the care that we get to give to the families as well. Kendra heard this morning, unfortunately, we lost a team member this morning, actually.
Oh,
So we will get to love on that team that this individual worked with. We'll get to reach out to the families. We'll be able to do something. If you hear anything, Nicole, you said it best. It is a calling. And just being able to focus in on that, to be able to wrap your arms around that. But care for the people that work with you, not for you. I hate that. The people that work with you, care for them first, and then set that vision of how you're going to be able to do it for the patients and the visitors that come through that door.
yeah, yeah. And so I love what you're saying, Gary. One of the things I teach when I'm doing leadership development is I'm like, what if you had an employee who could set that bone back in place, put the cast on
Yeah,
it, do all the things, but was not nice? And was not user
yeah,
friendly, and everybody hated them being on the team. And my question is, I often ask people, I'm like, is that a good employee? And people are like, well, yeah, because he set the bone. And I'm like, no, 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 it's not a good employee. They only have 50% of the formula,
yeah,
right? And the other 50% is that they're user friendly, they made the patient happy, they were kind to the other people that helped them get the bone in place. You're not doing this in a vacuum. Hello. It's so important that you have and I don't like this word, like you said, I don't like people working for me. I like working with
yeah.
people. I don't like this whole thing of soft
Mm-hmm.
skills, because really that's the hard part. And I'm curious, you two started in healthcare, frontline, right? And then you've moved up in your whole career. What skills do you think got you where you are? I mean, like, of course, you had to help the docs and do the stuff and suture and all the things and take the pictures of the legs. But what really got you where you are? If you gave advice to our listeners, here's what really got me far. I did these things. Kendra, what's the magic sauce to being Kendra Bowman?
Never stop. Keep
Okay.
driving. You have to keep driving for whatever that goal is. If it's to be a technologist and retire, be the best technologist you can be ever. If it's to be a PA or a hospital administrator or to do a complete 180 from your career. I had a sonographer, amazing sonographer, that did a complete 180 and is now going to go own her own Chick-fil-A. Can you, I mean,
Right, but she learned a whole lot in healthcare. That's gonna help her run that restaurant, I promise.
exactly. Celebrate that
Yeah.
and never stop. You've got to have that drive. And that is what has driven me here today. Not letting my past define
Oh,
anything, not letting my failures or anything, keep moving forward. It's not about yesterday, it's about tomorrow and
yeah,
how we're getting
perseverance
there.
is
We
what I'm
have
hearing.
to keep that drive and just push others. Just keep pushing because not everyone sees it in themselves. And so sometimes they need that little push. So
Yeah.
drive yourself and drive others.
And you'll go to some people and you say, I see potential in you. And they're like, oh, no, I'm good. I'm
Mm,
Yes.
good. I'm good.
Yes.
But you don't let off the gas. Next time you see them, you're like, I see potential in
yep.
you.
Yes.
And then maybe they will wake up. And most often they do. So perseverance is great. All right, Gary, I'm throwing the ball to you. What's the soft skill or the things that you've done other than the tasks that have gotten you where you are? What do you think the magic sauce is in Gary?
It's the connections. I love what Kendra was saying, pushing forward, always learn something, read something, watch a podcast, building a
Yeah,
vibrant
do
culture.
that.
A little plug there for you, buddy.
I love it.
It's continuing to learn, but it's believing in yourself. And I'm working with somebody right now that's in a pretty high position, And this individual has imposter syndrome, doesn't feel shouldn't be here from where I came from what I've done. I shouldn't be here. And I'm trying to get this individual to even go to the next step in a great position. But I see something in this individual that this individual does not see in themselves. So it's our duty as leaders to push them. But the secret sauce for me was connections. You guys are going to find this hard to believe. I'm an extrovert, right?
I never would have thought that.
Kendra will tell you if I had to spend all day in this office, I would go crazy. I get my energy from the team. I get my energy from rounding on patients. I've lived in this community for a long time. So at any given time, I'm going to have either 1 to 15 people I know in-house that I will go visit and take care of. But it's those connections, and it's being respectful to everybody. Okay, the young lady I was talking about, you're walking down the hall, she's cleaning a garbage can. There's something that fell outside the garbage can. Stop and pick it up for her. Help her.
Right.
She is going to remember
Right.
that. She may be your boss someday, and she will remember how you treated her and how you acted. It's making those connections. I love pouring into young people. I was rounding this morning down in our ED. In healthcare, we all wear different color scrubs. So I know Kendra's people by the color scrubs they wear. I know respiratory versus nurses versus CNA. Well, these two individuals had red scrubs on. Why do they have red scrubs? Because they're nursing students at Catawba College. So I go introduce myself. I tell them,
And you're like, I love Catawba
I do.
College.
Pull out my Catawba badge. And I offer them a job right there on the spot. And I talk to them. And this one individual, it was funny. This young person doesn't live in Salisbury, lives in Winston-Salem. And I said, where are you going to work when you finish? And he said, another healthcare system. Ladies with a straight face, I said, oh, I heard they were closing down. Well, you should have seen the color just left his face.
Really?
And the nurse that's precepting
This
him
guy's pretty
said,
high ranking.
don't listen
My
to
God.
him. He's kidding. But what I said was, I wish you the best. But if I can ever
Yeah.
do anything for you, the nurse preceptor, I said her name, if she can ever do, please reach out to us. And I said goodbye and I was walking away and I heard that nurse saying to this individual, I guarantee you at your next job, the president will not come say hello to you and talk to you. Well, it's not about being the president. It's about
Right.
making those connections and caring about people. If I could stress anything, that's the secret sauce, Nicole.
Yeah, I love what you're saying. And hey, I just want to give a shout out to Katie Greer. My daughter, Gary, is going to graduate in May and be a doctor of physical therapy. You know what that takes. So, anyway, but she just went through the rounds of interviews. She interviewed with 4 different
Yeah,
companies. And don't miss what she said to me. She said, and I quote, I really liked that guy the most.
yeah,
Because all the job offers were within this
yeah.
range and this, that, and that insurance and those benefits and this thing. But she's like, that felt good.
Hmm.
And I'm like, see, there's culture
Yeah.
right there. So she's picking culture over anything else when she's making her decision. So don't miss that little tidbit. And, Kendra, I just got this flashback to the way back. So Gary, listen to this one, and Kendra can tell it. I hope she's going to remember this. But she called me one day, and she's like, "I'm going to send you a picture of this sign that was on the wall in this. It was another healthcare system, so they do exist, and it was in another healthcare system, and it was a sign on the wall that basically said, "Do your DAMN job or else," or whatever. But it was a sign. Do you remember that? Do you remember that sign? You sent me the picture of it, and
That was not Novant.
it was not Novant. It was like horrific. Do you still have a picture of that thing? I need to find that but that was the culture there. Because
Exactly.
Kendra and I were studying organizational development, and she's like, "This is textbook bad."
That is when you realize how not to do things.
Yeah.
Oh, that was way back. But how helpful was that?
Yes.
To see this sign right here to the students that was so, Gary, it was a sign very degrading to students.
Oh, it was terrible.
Yes, we used that very old non-Novant sign. as a part of our organizational leadership class and discussion.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So the leader definitely sets the tone. That is
Yes.
for sure. That is for sure. Okay, here we are. We have been talking for almost an entire hour, and I have been absolutely delighted to be with you two fine leaders. I'm wondering if you have one more nugget. My people are like, wait, don't stop. I want to hear one more thing from Kendra and one more thing from Gary. So, what nugget would you just kind of leave us with if you're like, if I'm a young leader, I'm in healthcare, I want to do good? What would you suggest? What's your nugget? Gary, you go
Okay.
first.
For me, it is love what you do. Make sure that you're in an environment that loves you.
Yeah.
Pour into others. That's so important. Nicole, you were talking about culture. You're talking about your daughter, which we're so very proud of. And I know
Yeah.
you two can think about times where you've gone through interviews, you've looked at these resumes, and they are wow, bam, 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 bam. And then the other one's like, ah, that's not bad, that's not bad. But you talk to the individual, you look at them, and you're like, what do you say? They will fit the culture here, and I'm going to hire this individual. So get me pumped up. Let's go hire some people, Kendra.
That's
Yes.
it. That's it. Let's do it.
So,
All right.
so you,
Okay,
Kendra.
Kendra.
All right. So, my last nugget would be everyone should always have a mentor and be a mentor,
Mm,
regardless of where you are in your career. Whether you are CEO of whatever organization or just starting out in your career, we should always have a mentor and be a mentor and
yeah.
just continue loving on people.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And hey, they want to hire some people. So if you're listening to this, here's the website jobs.novanthealth.org. That's where you need to go. Look for the Salisbury, Rowan postings because there's only 3 in Kendra's department. And if you want a mentor, that's where you got to
Yeah,
go. You got to go to
yeah.
Rowan. All right. Okay, everybody. It's been another fantastic episode, vibrant, dare I say, episode of the Build a Vibrant Culture podcast. If somebody wanted to get a hold of you two and they wanted to talk to you or they wanted to find out about maybe an opportunity you all have, Kendra, how do we find you?
You can email me at kdbowman@novanthealth.org.
Okay. And you're on the LinkedIn.
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. And Gary, how do we find you? Get a hold
The
of you?
same thing. I'm on LinkedIn, and my email is GABlabon, which is BLABON at NovantHealth.org.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you both so much for being on the Build a Vibrant Culture podcast. And hey, everybody, go down where you're listening on your device right now, and it will take a hot second. Click the like button and then leave a little love note. Here's what I thought was fantastic that you said. That will help me out. This will help them out. And we will see you next time on the Build a Vibrant Culture podcast. Thanks so much for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Build a Vibrant Culture podcast. If you found value in today's episode, please take a moment to leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps us improve and reach more like-minded listeners. Remember, the journey to building a vibrant culture never stops. Stay inspired, keep nurturing your vibrant culture, and we can't wait to reconnect with you on the next exciting episode of Build a Vibrant Culture podcast.